I'm Wayne Carey, and this is The Truth Hurts. Well, it's been a very different year for me, obviously, Ayrton, because haven't been to games live. So I've been watching a lot of footy on TV and listening on radio as well. So every time I get into the car now, and now I'm not as loyal to Triple M, by the way.
Wow,
these
really?
days. So I do listen to the Triple M boys because I still love them, but I do flick over and I listen to 3AW and SEN. So I'm right across all platforms now. And also I don't just watch Channel 7 Friday
Fox
night footy, but I flick over to Fox Footy and I watch that. So I'm across it all. So what I thought, and it reminded me of the great callers of all time, and the greatest of all time.
We have worked with some,
who
obviously.
I worked with, and that's the great Bruce McAvaney. What made me think about this as well is because I turned the races on Saturday afternoon, and Bruce was on the races.
Still going strong. His knowledge is incredible.
He's the absolute best, and he's an absolute gentleman. He's the one person in commentary, in TV, that is an absolute superstar that wants to make you better. He will do anything that he can to make you better and perform better because he believes...
And that's different.
Oh, it is different.
Because it's a dog-eat-dog world, isn't it?
Massive dog-eat-dog world. And to be honest, a lot of people in the media couldn't give a stuff about the bloke next to them. They're just worried about where their next meal's coming from. So they're just head down, bum up, I'll do what I need to do. Who gives a crap about what, Snowy off the trams over here is doing. So, but Bruce wasn't like that. And obviously Dennis Cometti is the other one that comes to mind. I think I've always said Bruce is my absolute favourite, and I think part of that is because when he came to Melbourne and we played so much Friday night footy, so many Friday night games, that our careers aligned with one another, and I'm a big believer that a commentator, a caller, can make you be better.
Well, you were Friday night, weren't you?
Correct. They can make you sound better, or they make a certain goal bigger than what it is, or a mark bigger than what it is, or even your performance bigger than what it is. And I think Bruce certainly did that for me. So he holds a special place.
I did wonder whether you ever got a special.
He's an absolute beauty. I absolutely love him. Every time I see him on TV now with the races, I just light up with a big smile. I think he's just an absolute gentleman and a beautiful person. So what it made me think, I thought, and, I'll get a little bit of backlash from this, because I've got mates in the media. But you know what I thought I'll do? I thought I'm going to try to nail down the 5 best special comments people in the game right now for me, and also the 5 best callers. And this
Not easy to do that.
This is my opinion. I tell you what, there's a lot around. I'm sure you've got a healthy list there.
Yeah, I can go through now if you like just some of the names that are calling. You've got, obviously Bruce is not calling anymore, but you've got likes of Hutto, James Brayshaw, BT, Jared Waitley, Dwayne Russell. Dennis is not commentating anymore, but the likes of Hamish McLaughlin, Jason Bennett, Andy Marr, Hutchie, Pickers, all of these names, Matty Granlund, Tim Lane. The list goes on. There are a lot.
They're all callers.
They're all callers.
Wow. No, I knew that. And what about special comments?
Well, even bigger list. You've got your old mate Lingy, Stevie J's on the bandwagon now, Hodge, Selwood, the 2 Watsons, Job and Tim, Dermott, Jimmy Bartell, Daisy Pearce, Abby Holmes, Richo, man, Sean Burgoyne, Lee Matthews, Nathan Jones, Chris Johnson. I could keep going. There's a whole lot. Rue, Malthouse, Bucks.
Yeah, there's plenty. All right. Where do you want me to start? Special comments or callers?
Let's start with your... Well,
I'll start with callers.
Yeah, I think
I'll start with callers. So number 5. Number 5.
Yeah.
And people will think that this is a bit of a suck-up job, but it's but it's not. It's not a suck-up job.
You said you weren't going to be politically correct.
No, I'm not being This is what I truly believe. I love the storytelling, and I think he's very accurate. I love Hamish McLaughlin. I don't think he does enough calling. He's an unbelievable host.
Very good host.
He's a very good host, but I really like the way he calls. I really do.
He is a big storyteller in his calling.
He is. Yeah, he's a story. He does paint a picture.
Yes.
And I love that about him. And he's a beautiful human being as well. So I've got him at number 5. I've got Dwayne Russell at number 4, the pipe. And the reason why I
as good as it gets.
Yeah, and he loves his little
crazy good.
Yeah, I think he's very good. And the other reason why he's number 4 too, because I reckon he's about the only bloke in footy that's got a worse name than Wayne, and that's Dwayne. So Pipes at number 4. I'm going to get smashed for this.
I can see your list.
I'm going to get smashed for this. BT at number 3. BT at number 3.
We
now,
need you to explain this one.
well,
I actually like BT.
no, I've had BT at number 1. I've had him at number 2 before. I've had him at number 3. When Bruce was around, he dropped down.
He won't
When
like
Dennis
being
was
at
around-
3.
Well,
He won't like
for
that.
a lot of his career, he's been at 3 anyway because Bruce and Dennis has been there.
Yep.
And I think he's always sat below those guys. So he's going to be a bit disappointed now that they're gone, that he hasn't gone straight up the list. So I've got him at number 3. I do love BT. I think BT's brilliant caller. I love him as a radio caller as well. I think he obviously shows a lot more personality when he calls on radio.
Yep.
But this is TV, by the way. This is TV. I know they all do radio and TV, but this is, for me, this is TV.
Oh, only TV.
This is only TV.
So you've ruled out a few people before we started.
Correct.
See, I think his radio stuff elevates him.
It does, BT. If this was radio, I'd have BT higher.
Okay.
Okay? So BT 3. I've got Hutto at number 2.
That is very controversial.
Why?
Because I think he's number 1.
Hutto?
I think he's by far and away the best
Well-
caller in the game.
Well, he's off Broadway for starters. He's on Foxtel.
That's Channel 7's fault, isn't it? They should have paid him.
He's off Broadway, so that goes against him a little bit because, unless not everyone has Foxtel.
You talk about elevating moments, though. Has anyone got as many? 13, Buddy when he's 13 in Launceston. And
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan on the 13. I think he does other stuff in the Did he do the Jackie? Was he the Jackie Chan? Was he the Jackie Chan with Wellesley's goal? Was that Hutto?
Oh, geez, you're testing
Anyway,
my memory
I think it might have been. No, I do love the way he calls. I think he's absolutely brilliant. But my favourite, and once again, people say Triple M Boys Club, and not because he was the president of North Melbourne, but I think JB. I think he brings colour to the TV call that others don't bring as much colour. Like, as we said, Hamish tells a story. Pipes Dwayne, he obviously likes his little sayings.
Yes.
In a call. We know BT, he brings a lot of colour as well. But I think JB, I just really like he can lift a moment.
He can elevate very well.
Just like Bruce did. So I've got JB at the moment on top. Now that by the way, we're only 9 rounds in. So we might revisit this at the end of the year.
So you're telling these blokes there's room for them to move up the list?
They could move up the list. They're my top 5 for the moment. Like I said, by the end of the year, we'll revisit it at the end of the year and we'll see where they sit.
No, I like that.
This could be bigger than, the top 50 of what's Robbo do?
Robbo's top 50, yeah.
This could be bigger than Robbo's top 50 by the end of the year.
I think it's a really solid top 5. If I just a couple of names to look out for, if you're your big name type.
You know who I do like as well? I think Jason Bennett I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves as a caller.
Okay.
Yep. He does. He can sort of drift into the special comments as well as he's doing the call. But
did you tell him that?
His knowledge. No, well, I don't tell. He's brilliant at his job. He's knowledgeable. He's well researched. So he's one to look out for. Jason Bennett could slip into the top 5.
I got a couple of names. You wouldn't have heard of these guys because you love your big names. You do. But there's a guy. There's a guy in Perth. He used to work for Fox Sports in Melbourne, actually, Adam Papalea. A very rock solid, I'd call him. Rock solid commentator. So he often does the Freo West Coast games on Fox. And Alistair Nicholson, great Tasmanian.
Yes.
From Penguin.
I've done a couple of games with Alistair.
Yeah.
And like how
they seem to like him at Channel 7.
And he's built. Yeah, he's building. He's a bit like
he's building.
Who knows where his future may lie on this list? But he is very good. And you're right, he's getting some opportunities on Channel 7, which obviously elevates his profile. Now on to special comments, which was my old job. When let's be honest, didn't say a lot of things that were that special. But
before you start this, what makes a good special comments caller in your eyes?
Not stating the obvious would be one, and the other one would be not over talking.
Yeah,
I think the other thing to remember when we rate this, especially with the special comments people, is that Foxtel, I think the guys on Fox Footy, they have an advantage over the Channel 7 special comments people.
Okay,
and I tell you why. Because of the ads. So after a goal, and we get told in our ear, okay, we're going to an ad break. We're told not to talk again then until we come back from that ad break. So if you're watching the Channel 7 coverage on Fox Footy and you hear all that blank air, that's because they're told not to talk. And then when you come back from the ad break, you've got a really short period of time before the ball bounces that you're able to say anything. Whereas the Fox guys get a lot more clear air to make their point. So they can all have a say. They can all, talk about whatever it is they want. So they can explain themselves much clearer, I think, than Channel 7. So they are at an advantage, I think.
How much jostling, or not jostling, but how does it work when you're in there? Because you've often got two main callers, Fox sometimes one, but two main callers, generally two special comments. How does it work? Who gets which bit of time? And you're saying, I've got something here.
Generally it's first in, best dressed. If someone, messages down to the truck and says, I want to talk about something after the ad break, you come back.
So that's how you do it, is it? You'll tell the producer, I've spotted something that I like. Or correct. Sometimes, and this is where I guess Bruce was really good for you, because I always felt that Bruce
he tries to bring you in. Yeah, Bruce did that a lot. And other callers don't do that as much, as I said. But what you got to remember is Bruce's experience, and he's that in control. He knows exactly, where he's at. With a lot of people, especially when you're on TV, you're focusing on what you've got to do rather than worrying about trying to bring other people in. But which brings us to the special comments now. At number 5, I'm going to go with David King, not because he's an ex-teammate, and you believe me on that, because I can be critical.
Yes,
Kingy's very stats driven.
Yeah, which I like. I like the analysis.
No, I think you can go overboard with the stats.
Okay.
I think, let's be honest. And there are some people out there that want to hear, they want to hear all of that confusing stat stuff, because if I'm confused, trust me, they're confused. But I like the way, I think Kingy can be very succinct. I like he can make a very strong point. So
and he thinks about he does think about the game.
Oh yeah, he's a great football brain. He's got a great football brain. He really has. Kingy should have could have stayed in coaching and maybe been a very good coach, I would have thought.
When did he make the jump?
He's got a little bit of presence. He's got a lot of presence, but I've got him at number 5. I'm not sure when he made the jump, but he was an assistant coach for a period of time. Number 4, Joey Montagna. I've got him at 4.
New boy on the block. In relative terms.
Yeah, new boy on the block. He's also doing a bit of calling as well, but a bit like Kingy, he can delve into the stats a little bit too much. But I think when Joey and Kingy do talk about stats, and I think Joey in particular, he simplifies it. So it is very easy to understand, although it can be technical at times. He makes it easy. So I love the way he's going about it, both on radio and TV, by the way. At number 3, and this guy's been my number 1 of all time forever and a day, but unfortunately not on often enough. And if he was on more often, he would be number 1. And that is the greatest VFL player of all time. VFL. Lee Matthews. Lee Matthews, without a doubt, he's been the best special over.
Did you shunt him off Friday nights?
Over a period of time.
Did you get him off Fridays? Was that you?
Well, I didn't. Lewis Martin, mate.
No.
But Lee Matthews, without a doubt,
still very good, Lee.
All-time favourite.
You can cut through the crap.
Cut through the crap, make a point, get in, get out, few words, doesn't waffle on. But I tell you what, when he speaks, everyone listens.
Absolutely.
So still number 3, even though not used enough on TV. He should still be on prime time.
Why has that happened then?
I don't know. Why does it happen in society? I think, once...
Is it because he's old school?
Well, I think once people reach a certain age, for whatever reason, we think, oh, no, they're, not... whereas I think Lee Matthews should be front and centre on just about everything Channel 7 does. That's my opinion, because I still think he's the best at Channel 7. At number 2, I have Jason the Pig Dunstall.
The big chief?
The big chief. Very similar to Lee in the way that I think he's clearly articulate, very intelligent. I think he makes a point, and then gets on with it. He doesn't waffle on, doesn't give you the obvious, but picks things up that others don't pick up. And
he's not afraid to have a crack either, the chief, is he? Which I like, because sometimes you need to.
He calls it as he sees it. But number 1,
drum roll.
Yep. Gary Lyon, and he's been good for a long time.
Yeah.
I've always liked the way he goes about it. He's always very well researched. He's another one that's articulate, also succinct. I don't think he waffles on. He understands when to come in, when not to, when to give other people space. So I think he's number one. But as I said, if we saw more of Lethal, I'd have Lethal still on top. But right now, Gary Lyon, number one special comments person in the game. Love listening to him.
Find that really hard to disagree with much of what you've got there. On a Saturday afternoon, often Fox have Hutto, Gary and Jason as their
It's a pretty good team, that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So there you go. So once again, all of these people have the opportunity to go up the list or go down the list. And I'm sure.
Can't wait for the phone calls you get this week.
I'll tell you what. You know the first phone call I'll be getting
who's
when they hear about it.
Who?
BT.
Absolutely. I've got one question for you on BT,
Yep.
and I know this is a favourite of you guys at Triple M. Was BT really getting his partner or wife to time his time on air? Was that...
Well, look, I'm not into rumour and innuendo because I've never clearly it's one of my pet hates, rumour and innuendo. But I'm led to believe, and the people that it came through, I tend to believe that there may be a little bit of truth.
She had the stopwatch out.
Not sure it was a stopwatch. I'm sure it was a stopwatch, but might have involved Jason Bennett as well. I think it was.
Okay.
I think it might have been when Jason and BT were doing a game, and this was a couple of years ago, or a few years ago now. And I think there might have been I think Jason Bennett might have had a little bit, too much airtime, and it might have been a watch just keeping an eye on how much BT got. But he can get a little frustrated, BT, and then if he gets upset by something, then he just goes back into his shell. So then you'll get absolutely nothing out of him. But no, he's a ripper, BT. So, but I will be getting a call from him. So there you go. Top 5 callers, top 5 special comments.